Hey. One more time. Hey, it's Nay. And welcome back to my channel. Welcome. If you're new here, hi, I'm Nay. And welcome to Nay's Little Garden. So we have some chop-ins. Per usual, grab a drink, grab a snack. I have only water here right now. I need to go make myself some tea or something. So, we have another this is a very small haul. You see how the hauls are just trickling down in sheer size because I really do have, for the most part, what I really need. The only... So, my situation... Cheers. Happy New Year. My situation is... What on earth? 2 plus 2 is 4. And 5 plus 5 is 10. What is this? I'm now in full planning mode. Not even. I'm at the final stages of planning mode. You know what I mean? I feel like I've been planning for a few weeks now, and that was an intelligent decision. Because I am consuming garden content like plants taken or plants let release oxygen. Here's my problem. I feel like, right, and this is just me, some of my favorite content gardeners, my garden content creators, are not in my zone or anywhere in my zone or anywhere in my relative. And when I'm stressing zone because of like the cold versus the hot, and the frost dates also very much matter. And do you even get frost? And some of them don't. And I actually scared myself a couple days ago. Okay. When, end of December, because one of my favorite garden content creators came on here telling my son, you are late if you have not started your onions. And I went, ma'am, excuse? Like that, literally. Because I just, don't stress me out. Come to find out, I forgot she is in like Florida or some ish. Like sis is in the heat. Sis is in big time warmth, or maybe she was in Texas. I don't know. She's in a state in which when they get snow, it's like a what is going on here? You know what I mean? Their cold is 50 degrees. And right now it is like 48 degrees outside, and I feel like it's hot. Because what is going on? Anyway, I said all that to say, onions is turning out to be one of my biggest stresses of this freaking 2025 garden, and it hasn't even really started yet because I keep getting different information. Now, I believe there are 2 channels I'm just gonna go off of, and I'm gonna follow after them. One of them is Brie Ellis's channel in terms of the onions, and then there's a guy, I can't remember his. Oh no. His channel is escaping me. Very sad stuff. Anyway, his last frost date is around May 15th. Now, I told y'all in the last video, I'm going off of May 15th, 16th. I'm going around that general time, okay? Think just around May. Because onions, apparently, can in fact handle coldness and a little bit of frost. What concerns me is, because you have to start these so dang early, I might be like, it'll be fine, and then we get a blizzard. Like, May 10th. You know what I mean? Like, this is the stuff that be like, all right, I understand that, but I understand that they can handle cold and snow, but I will not be rooting around in the garden with mad snow on the ground. You feel me? So, like, it's just a lot for me. Anyway, I have another small haul from M.I. Gardner. If you feel like, dang, she only ordered from M.I. Gardner, don't stress. One, it is one of the best seed and garden companies for 2 reasons. or it's technically almost one reason. The quality versus the price is unmatched from what I could find. Okay? And we're working with some money. You know, we gotta work with the money that we have. I also feel like most of the time the shipping is fast, and because it's there in America, it gets to me fast. Okay, I do have an order coming though from a small business. Should I tell you? Should I tell you? It's from Matt Peppers. It's like a man, and he grows in his, I don't know how big his land is, but in his backyard he grows the peppers and then like harvests the seeds and sells them. So he has like a jalapeno, like, you guys know who I'm talking about. If you don't, he's, so when I saw follow me for a second. I saw, like, there's a woman who was talking about it, and like she like loves the peppers and yada yada yada. My thing is, I actually like spicy food, excuse me, but I don't want to grow anything crazy in my garden. Goodness forbid my pitney them, because they're getting old enough, my children, that they are outside with me and doing stuff with me, that they put something in their mouth that hurts them. You know what I mean? Like, yes, you're not gonna die from eating pepper or whatever, but it can be very traumatizing if you really bite into something and then your mouth burns you. And I don't want my kids to have a fear of spicy foods. So I'm not growing yet anything super crazy until I feel like they have the sense. Mommy said not touch this, I will not touch this. And that's kind of it. So I am growing some spicy, but I will not be hitting like 100,000 Scoville units, so on and so forth. Anyway, I said all that to say, he grows the peppers. And she was gassing him to high heaven, and I'm like, oh my god, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. And oftentimes when I'm watching YouTube channel, I'm doing other YouTube, excuse me, I'm doing other things. So I guess she might have shown it to us and I didn't see it because I wasn't watching at that moment. And I went onto the website, and the first thing I saw was a wonderful drawing, but the man a 4-eye, and I was like, so that threw me a little bit. I'm going through the images. First of all, if he's taking these images by himself, chef's kiss, amazing. The peppers are some of the most interesting things I've ever seen in my life. Yes, so I ordered some. So those will be coming. I kid you not. God as my witness. I placed the order at like 12:01 in the afternoon. At 12:21, I got an email with the picture of the seeds and the envelope that was going to be mailed to me. That man packed that order faster than it takes me to eat lunch. That man packed that order faster than it takes me to fill up. Like, I just, like, that's a little dramatic, but you get what I'm saying. It was insane. Kid you not. Like 12:01, 12:04. It was not 12:10. Like early 12 o'clock in the afternoon. Before 12:30 hit, my order had been here's your seeds that are going in here. Here's the envelope with your address, with the stamp on it. I was like, sir, and it was on a Sunday. This is why sometimes I'd be scared to open up my own business, because guys, I need to rest. And I feel like some of the top people that I'd be like, oh yeah, I'm trying to be like you, be working all the time. Anyway, let's get into the actual thing that we came here for. So, at my gardener, I had bought just 3 packets of seeds. I had to ensure that I had what I needed. And, I told you to get a drink, didn't I? Okay. Because there's a couple things we're going to talk about today. This is the Roselle Asian sour leaf flower. Now, but this, what is this? Hibiscus. This is hibiscus. I did not actually, in fact, have hibiscus yet, and I intend to grow it in the garden. So I ordered that, and it came here. This is perennial in zones 9 to 12, which means this is an annual, where I am in zone 6, which is fine. Now, there are only 10 seeds in here. So I'm wondering if it's hard to collect these seeds or if this plant is hard to grow, because I don't really want to be stressed. So we're going to see. Because if you've seen any of my other videos, I am not trying. I will be growing a like a medicinal bed, like a not a medicinal bed. Well, it is medicinal bed, but I'm gonna get my tea bed. Okay, so look for that video. I have like it's a 3-part series of me discussing, and I'll see if I am able to yet put things into like playlists. So I'll put in a playlist if I'm able to, whether or not like part 1, part 2, and 3 of me planning out my garden in a visual format for y'all to see. So there's only 10 here. So I'm assuming you can only plant 1 per square foot. Plant spacing says 36 inches, most definitely. Lord. And I can start these indoors. I'm gonna be so stressed with all these seeds on here, running up my electric bill with all the lights. Oh, that's another thing we gotta talk about, but that'll be another video because I've started setting up my lighting. I went ahead and also got myself the purple coneflower. This is perennial in zones 5 to 8. Perennial in 5 to 8, which is, I'm included in that. So I should be able to put this in my little tea garden area one time and sis come back every single time. That's actually freaking amazing. This says vase life is 7 to 10 days. What a waste. I'm gonna be using this for tea and stuff and like other stuff. I think it repels deers and attracts pollinators. I'm gonna plant 50 of these. Oh, I was joking, but there's actually 200 seeds. That's crazy. You know what I feel like? I am not coming for people who like grass. I think if you like it, I love it for you. You feel me? However, when I see a whole bunch of grass and shrubbery that you cannot eat, you cannot yum, I feel like these days I'd be like, dang, that's a waste of some good plot of land or good front yard to plant flowers that you could literally pick. I feel like I can't talk about the world. I'm gonna talk about America because that's my country, okay? If we planted more pretty things that could be consumed, so we could just walk around, a little pick, have a little tea tonight, or you know what I mean? It would just be a better place. Hunger would be less of a thing, and struggle would be less of a thing because food would be in abundance. Now, there are things we don't know is food, that is food out there in abundance, like dandelion. I still am scared to put that in my mouth. Is anyone else like that? When you hear something and you're like, no, I believe it. I'm still scared to put it in my mouth, though. For me, it's dandelion. I'm going to get there, but that's where I'm at with that right now. Anyway, I said all of that to say, used medicinally for centuries to help with sleep, stress, and flu-like symptoms. Mass plantings provide spectacular beauty year after year. So what I'm going to end up doing is planting this in the tea bed, the tea/medicinal bed, but also I might dash a bunch of these because there's 200 in here. And it says plant spacing 12 to 24 inches. So I might plant 2 of these. This is to start indoors. So I'm going to see what it do. But I'm going to start some of them, plant some in that tea bed. Because I'm pretty certain I gave 2 or 3 square foot of this. So I'm going to need like 3, I think, ish. And then plant 1 square with 2, 1 with 1, and see which one does better. But I'm going to toss some in the front of my yard. It's a very small yard and I have very small property. But that comes up with like a random like bush thing, but you can't eat it. So it feels like a waste. And I actually do think this is super pretty. Oh, what is purple coneflower? This is echinacea. Woo! Am I about to sound like uneducated? I believe this is called echinacea. Don't quote me. You know what? Just call it a purple coneflower. But you can drink this. I've been drinking it. And the last one, y'all about to be sick of me and these dang onions, because I'm sick of me and these dang onions. So I really pray with all this effort I'm putting into the onions. And that was the point of this video, actually. We're getting into it about almost 15 minutes into the video. I really want these onions to come out and come out good. I also really want these onions to last. I'm getting into the part of my homesteading journey where I need to make enough, grow enough and then make enough to start lasting a few months you know? And the more I could be like, yeah, this will last me for 4 months, and then I could start canning to last 8 to 10 months to closely bring me to the following. I want to only have to, at some point, and I'm not going to stress myself this year with this goal, but my end goal overall, maybe the following year, like 2026 or 2027, you know what I'm saying, is to end up primarily buying tropical fruits and meat from the grocery store or whatever. Does that make sense? And then I'll grow most of everything else. Oh, and of course, flour. I don't have the property. I do have wheat. I don't know. I'm still trying to think if I should attempt to grow that. I'll have to get another raised bed. But even if I just get a 4x2 raised bed and plan to sugar ton of it, because it looks like it grows really close, I want to just see how that comes, because that might even be a half a cup of freaking flour. You know what I mean? It might not even be worth my time, but even just to be able to say, I made this little bag of flour, it would be insane. You know what I mean? Anyway. I have here the Southport White Globe onions. There's 200 seeds in here, and I actually just heard someone say that seeds don't store very well, but these seeds are gonna have to attempt to store. I don't intend to have these for 4, 5, 6 years, 1 to 2 years, as well, and I'm sure they'll be used up, but it's gonna have to do what I have to do, because I have a couple different varieties, because I'm trying to test out varieties. I just don't want my variety testing to be a 2, 3, 4 year situation. So this is a long day. So it says Luke doesn't know I exist, but I'm a little confused about this packet because it says long day on here. And then it also says a small intermediate day white pickling large bunching onion measuring 2 inches in diameter. So is this a long day onion or is this an intermediate day onion? I'm unsure, but I did try to grow a short day onion on accident last season, whatever, and ended up with an onion that started developing. It didn't grow big because I planted them too late, but it started developing, which makes me feel like I might get away with some intermediate anyway. But it does say long. It's fine. A sweet crisp onion with a good shelf life when cured correctly. Now, one thing I could say about this is it says it's packed for 2025, but this seed packet is not nearly as good as the other ones that I got from my gardener pertaining to the onions. I'm going to show you. So you see this, all of this is empty and it doesn't say anything over there, versus with my Walla Walla onions, it has the map of America to show you what, and then it has LD. That means long day, and then it has it shows you where the people them in the long day are. So, and then it also tells you the storage times. I'm not sure what's going on with the Southport White Globe, or maybe the idea is just they don't really have a guesstimate. I'm not sure. I have to look it up myself. But they said the less sweet onions last longer. Although, to be fair, the Walla Walla says 3 to 6 months. This concerns me, because 3 to 6 months is a drastic amount of time difference. So I'm going to grow some of these, but I won't grow a lot. My primary one I'm looking at right now is probably going to be these Utah yellow sweet Spanish onions, because although these are sweet, it says that this is an 8-month storage capacity. I'm not sure how long these are going to last. It says a good shelf life when cured correctly. So I'm going to say this probably is going to last 6 to 8 months as well. So I'm gonna primarily do the Utah yellow sweet Spanish onion, then do a reasonable amount of the Southport White Globe bunching onion, and then just a little bit of the Walla Walla onion. The thing about these onions are, I'm gonna probably end up growing more onions than I anticipate, because I think I keep talking about these dang raised beds, and my backyard is starting to look like an actual small garden, because I'm just taking up so much space. I might also buy another 2x4 raised bed, or 3x4. I'll see if I can get a 3x4 raised bed, just to plant out the Walla Walla separately, because these two look clearly very different. Okay. But this one I might confuse with this one, depending on if it actually gets this dark versus this. So I don't want to, because I want to really check the storage quality of these. And I've decided These are going to be started very shortly. Very shortly, meaning within a week. Because I'm... I told you I'm going off of Brie Ellis and this other guy, and they keep saying like the beginning of January. First of all, tell me how Brie Ellis already posted in December her starting her onions. Matter of fact, I'm gonna start the onions today. So I might do like a batch, because to start 160 onions is just not realistic in one day for me. So I'm gonna I'm gonna start some for certain today, and then I'm gonna do another big batch next week, and see what happens. I am stressing these onions a lot though, and I'm not saying this for you because I want you to stress. I'm saying this because I'm just being honest. Onions is coming out to be one of the most stressful plants for me because of the 8 to 10 weeks before last frost. No. You want to plant it out a couple weeks before the last frost, so you have to start it before that time, 8 to 10 weeks before that time that you want to plant it out, a few weeks before the last frost. Do you see how I'm confused? So like if you want to plant them out 3 to 4 weeks before your last frost, let's say 3 weeks before your last frost, right? Now we're looking for me in April, the end of April. Then I have to start 8 to 10 weeks prior to the end of April. That's 2.5 months. 2.5 months. I'm just not sure where the math is mathing right now, to be honest with you. Because 2.5 months from April, it's like February. And yet people keep telling me, even the people with around the same season, like the cold, the last frost date, are saying they're starting in the beginning of January. Some people saying at the end of December. So I'm wondering if you can't too late plant out onions. Like there's like a huge gap of time before you really have to even stress it. Lord, I don't want to stress myself. And this is why I'm going to probably do 3 batches of this. One, because I'm going to have to keep buying grow lights. And I have to figure out how my husband is going to be able to attach. No, I don't have to figure anything out. What I need to figure out is what grow light I have to buy. And that will go into my ceiling. Give it to my husband, because my husband is that man that he'll figure out. He'll put them in the wall, the ceiling somehow. So I can also use the top of my little shelving unit, because the way it's looking is like an entire shelf row is gonna just be onions, because I cannot imagine 160 soil blocks, because I'm going to be soil blocking these, is gonna fit there. And the thing is, I feel like I blink and a month goes by, and in the end of January into February is a whole nother set of things you have to start. And then by by end of February, beginning of March, you want to have started most things that you're going to start. So that's your cold weather crops and your warm weather crops. And I definitely want to bang out some broccoli, cauliflower. I know you got to start celery. I don't even know if you could start that in. It's just mad something for stress. Mad things you have to stress. Not stress, but mad things you have to think about. Excuse me. Mad things you have to think about. And last year, I actually had a reasonable harvest, but I started things so late. And the fact that I still had a successful, in my opinion, I know that there's a ton of people that would have looked at my, like, the amount of stuff I ended up harvesting and said it's not enough. But for first serious growing time, I harvested a good amount of stuff. I just know I can harvest more. A lot more. So I want to try to make sure that it's successful as possible, because my expectation has skyrocketed from I'm going to be for real with you. I was going to say half-assed attempt, but I know that some people would look at the effort I put and be like, that is not half. My semi-serious attempt last growing season, because I did spend a good amount of money and I spent a good amount of time. I built a polyton, like I did a lot of stuff, but when I'm serious about things, as you can see, I'm big serious. So these are all things I'm just trying to take into consideration to ensure as much as possible from the human side of things, because nature's a whole nother beast, that I'm trying to be as successful as possible. You know what I mean? Like, when to start these onions, how can I harvest these? Because I don't understand how some people have different harvest times as well, because 3 months is not June. Because it says 100 days, Matter of fact, right? Hold on, let's look at that new onion. And I want to do some leeks too. This says 110 days to maturity. Now, what throws me is they say stuff like, oh, sometimes the days to maturity is off of 4 to 6 weeks of growing it indoors. Sometimes it's just automatic seeding. I also would like, because there's enough space on the packets for people who make these packets, to start putting that on the packet too. Days to maturity, and then underneath it be like an asterisk saying from transplant. Transplant is typically a 4 to 6 week grown plant. You know what I mean? So that we can know, or asterisk from seed. So if you choose to try to attempt to transplant it, you know you can actually subtract 3 weeks. If you transplant it 4 weeks early, you subtract 3 weeks. You want to give it a week to have transplant shock before it gets over itself and starts growing again. You know what I'm saying? Like, these are all things. New hobbies as an adult is more stress inducing than when I was younger. I can't really tell you about being like a 5-year-old for the most part, but I can tell you what it was like a high schooler and a middle schooler. I remember those times still, and I feel like learning new things was stressful, but was super fun in a way that is not as prevalent as it is in an adulthood, because to botch something in adulthood usually means you wasted your own money, as well as the time it took for that is weighs heavier on you, versus when you're younger, you kind of feel like you have all the time in the world, and well, I messed up, but as an adult, you don't want to mess up because you don't want to look crazy. You don't want to look stupid. You don't want to look like you don't know what you're doing, although you don't know what you're doing because it's a new hobby. So I'm trying to break myself of that habit of like, I need to get it right or I'm not going to do it. Skippy, you are wrong. I'm going to do this. The L is a lesson. You know what I mean? And I also feel like this is going to be such a hot topic, and I don't want anyone to take this the wrong way. When you have a hobby that is not the norm for people around you or the people you surround yourself with, it's even more stress inducing. And I would consider myself more of like, guys, I have acrylics on my fingers. I like to put makeup on my face. I had braids in, I wear wigs, I do all of these things, you know what I mean? But I also like to go out on the soil. I also like to wear barefoot all the time. So I have like colliding likes, because when you go and look up homesteading and stuff, you see a lot of these people that sometimes, depending on who you are, you might not be able to identify with them because of just certain things that they do, which is perfectly fine, but just different from what you do. I've watched some homesteaders essentially bash people who wear nails and wear makeup. I think it makes that harder to be like, oh, maybe I shouldn't be doing this hobby because the people that do this hobby are not like me, and or don't have the similar likes or don't live the same lifestyle, right? Because some people have a lot of money to spend on things or a lot of land to do these things on, and a lot of us other ones don't have that. I'm kind of glad I'm getting into gardening now, because something I can look up is growing in small spaces. It's still not as prevalent as I would like it to be, but it's still much more than it was probably like 10 years ago, right? Because you want to grow on land, you need to have a farm, and that's what you were looking at. But now I'm seeing videos from like 4 years ago till now, a lot more. We're talking about growing in a smaller space. That's one of the reasons why I love Jess from Roots and Refuge so much. She has mad land now, but she still moves sometimes in a way like, okay, well, if you had a small land, this is what you do, because this is what I did. And I like to go off of people who can say things like that, because then I believe that it's more feasible to do so. Like, you really will grow up thinking you need 5, 10, 20, 30 acres of land to sustain yourself in any way that's reasonable, and that is for certain not. If I took my entire 8x4, guys, an 8x4, 8 feet by 4 feet is not as big as you think it is. It is big, but it's not as big as you think it is. And grow you some onions in that raised bed alone, You would not go through those onions in a year. And like, as a family of, like, I was cataloging how many onions I used in 2024, right? I feel like I know I'm growing more onions than I need. And this is even taking into consideration things that I pre-bought, like organic salsa and all of those things that have onions in them. Because the big onion them, 8 times out of 10, I use only half of it per recipe. So these are all things that you just want to take in consideration. And I'm gonna let you guys go. We're in a whole episode now of Nay's little garden, literally. But these are just all things that go through my mind, and I feel like it goes through a lot of people's mind. Because when I mention in live person to people I know, literally, about gardening and about making bread from scratch and pasta from scratch, the sheer shock factor of that to people is kind of sad. My doctor, a new woman to my doctor's office. She's a new doctor, and I don't have an issue with her, but like, she made assumptions about me because she doesn't know me, because she went off, like, you got to go off of the average person, right? And she's like, you're healthy and everything's great or whatever, but I just want to let you know that people like you need to stop consuming pre-made food. People like you need to stop consuming too much soda, too much this. It does eventually catch up to you. And I first got offended, and then I ended up laughing because I don't even consume soda. Well, Olipop is soda, but like, that's my soda. I don't drink Pepsi and Coke and Sprite and all those other things like that. I like seltzer and Olipop. like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I make a lot, not all, but I make a lot of our food from scratch. And then the things I don't make from scratch, I buy like the most basic of ingredients. Even my chicken stock and broth these days, I buy with ingredients that I can clearly read and understand. And I understand everything you can't read is not bad, but just to make my life easier, and I'm not sitting there for 3 hours because I have 3 under 5 in the grocery store. I am just, can I understand everything? Is this a short list? Done. Like, and I have seen a significant change in my mental feeling, like headaches, my emotional state, and physical things. My skin, I'm not going to say I have the prettiest skin in the world because that would be a lie, but my skin has felt clearer. It's looked brighter. My nails are growing. I'm not sure what that is. My nails and my hair is growing at a faster rate than has ever grown outside of my pregnancies. Like, there's just been a ton of things. And I do think there's several things to do with it. But part of them, I do think, is my eating and how much water I'm consuming, habits that I've been cultivating for the last 4 years. When I found that I was pregnant with my first child, everything changed. I mean, the world shut down. But I mean, outside of that, I got very scared about what I was putting in my body, because I would be danged if I harmed my child in any way, shape, or form. So from then, I have been making this journey, and I'm now starting to see the effects of these things. And I feel like long-term effects you want to have takes long-term doing of the same repetitive, healthy thing. Anyway, let's talk down in the comment section. I know I crossed over a ton of topics, but I always enjoy watching videos like this. I enjoy watching videos with one topic, but I also enjoy watching videos with multiple topics, because hobbies, gardening, homesteading, all of those things are such, it's almost like gateway things that lead to other things. And I'll always be okay and down for certain other topics out that don't necessarily vibe with this, that we're not going to get into, because I don't want this to be a controversial video. But it's okay to not think like everybody else, or to take a path that perhaps it's not a trend right now. Because there was a point in time where most people did have a small garden to a bigger garden, Anyway, thank you so much for watching this whole video. Let me know when you're about to plant out your onions. Guys, I'm dead serious. Y'all about to see a second video in this same outfit with my fro still out of me starting some seed block. We're going to see if this actually even works, because I've been looking at this thing, been looking at me, and I've been looking at this thing for like a couple weeks now. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this whole video. Please don't forget to hit that like button. If you didn't get through this video in one sitting, I completely understand. I did this, you know what I mean? But I do hope you do watch some of it, and do comment. Please comment. I enjoy reading your guys' comments and interacting with you. That's part of most of the reason why I started Nay's Little Garden, because I do want to build a community in which we're all kind of like connected, talking about our gardens, talking about how we use the stuff in our gardens, so on and so forth. And I'm new to this, not true to this yet, but I will one day be true to this. So hopefully I see you in my next video. Bye bye.